folks, Jack with River Cap Blues. Got out on the water finally. Gonna do something different. We're going old school today. Real old school. This is a Shakespeare. I don't know when this was made. This rod was made in the USA. Comes apart here. Comes apart here. 3 different pieces. Bought this old rod off of eBay. I'm guessing it's in the 60s, I'm guessing. Somewhere in that area. Maybe early 70s. I'm not for sure. I don't know. This reel is a Montgomery Ward's reel. I don't know how we're going to do with it today. I don't know when it was made. I know it's an older reel. These old reels don't have a drag system on them. They don't have an anti-reverse. You can just go forward or backwards. Does have a clicker. We're gonna see if that works today. I think it works. And what I was trying to come up with, when I put this reel and rod into my rod holder, I'm either gonna have to run a clicker or I'm gonna have to figure out how to keep this from turning if a fish takes this down. Now we're gonna go for some channel cat today. I don't wanna hook a real big fish with this. We don't want no big blue on here. I just don't know what'll happen. So I'm gonna downsize to some small shrimp, see if we can catch some smaller fish, see how this thing works. I'm kind of excited to try the old thing out. I took it apart, I oiled it, I greased it, I cleaned it. It was a mess inside. You can get these old reels off of eBay. You can go to, let's see, what are they called? The antique malls. You can go there and pick them up. Yard sales. These old things are pretty decently cheap. We're gonna see how it works. Let's do some old school today. All right, folks, we're fishing. I may have to fish out the back of the boat and try to drift that way. I'm in a real narrow area and that wind is switching back and forth across this neck, and it's kind of blowing me from side to side, and it's taking me straight to the bank, and I'm not getting any distance before I have to try to do something. So I'm going to try it like this for just a little bit, but we may have to switch some things up. I took a gear tie, just a regular gear tie, tied it around that reel handle, and I'm hoping that'll keep it from spinning if we get a fish on it. We'll see. I just don't want a very big fish. If it's a big fish, you'll probably either bend my handle or break it off. we gotta go easy with this old equipment and see what's gonna happen. I'm a little worried about that rod too. It's pretty old. I just don't want to break it. We're dragging the bottom pretty good with it. It's a medium light, so it's going to bend. Trying to get my gear tied down. I think we hooked up with one, folks. We hooked up with one on the old thing. Still got him? Well, the gear tie worked almost too well. You can see what I'm talking about. If I let go of the handle, it just spins. Yeah, I still got him. He's on there. Oh, I guess you got to hold your thumb down for your drag. Well, I wanted to see if this was going to work. We'll see if everything holds up. He's not very big, but this old equipment makes me a little nervous. But I really like it. I really like this old vintage stuff. Let's turn you out just a little bit here. There we go. I'll move out here a little better. Now I got just an Abu Garcia Black Max in the back on an ugly stick. No big deal there, but I wanted to try this. Now I don't have a very fast gear ratio, I can tell you that. You crank like crazy and she don't move much. Well, he's about up here. Let's see what we got here. He should be right out here in front of us. Oh, I'm gonna give him a little bit. this reel and rod, I'm just a little worried about it. We're gonna play this one out. He ain't very big, but man, he's bending that old rod. I'm scared this rod's gonna break. I'm just gonna let him go if he goes. Come on, bud. You're getting caught by an old reel and rod, maybe, if it works. Come on, USA Shakespeare. Come on. Come on up here. I missed my anti-reverse, I can tell you that. Just takes some getting used to. And this is all they had back then, you know. This is it. This is all they had. Turn you just a little bit here. Come on. I think it's a channel. I don't think it's a blue. I got to look at it. It looked like a channel. Man, you'd think he's 25 pounds the way this thing's working here. Come on, buddy. Come on, I know. There he is. Yeah, he's a channel. He's a channel cat. There you go. Come here. Come here. There we go. Woo! Okay. What a battle. Let's get him out and take a look at it. I'll set that right there. There he is, folks. He pulled like a 25 pounder with that setup, but he ain't. You can see. All right, get in there. That was a lot of fun though. I like that old equipment. God, just got to be careful with it. Now I'm just taking this gear tie, just a wire inside of this rubber here. I guess there's a wire in there. Maybe it's just rubber, I don't know. But, you know, they're bendable. And this is going out. I'm letting this go out right now. But all I do is just wrap this around this handle right here, and then I tie it down to my rod holder. And we just hope nothing very big gets on it and breaks everything. So I'm gonna stick it back in there. All right, I think we're ready to go again. See if we can't get maybe one more fish out here anyway. I just wanted to try this whole thing out. I mean, I've always liked them old reels. My dad used to have them years ago. I never did use one. This is the first time I've ever used an old reel like that is today, but I've bought several of them on eBay. And I'm going to start bringing them few out now and then. We'll do it like an old vintage series. I may even put a big bait on one of them, see what happens. rod's what I'm really worried about. It's an old rod. I mean, I think it's in the 60s or early 70s. Some of you might know, but I don't know. But it held up on that little fish, but woo, what's it gonna do for a big one? I don't know. I haven't got any more bites. I'm hoping we'll get hooked up at least one more time. If not, I just kind of mainly wanted to come out here and see if we could catch anything with that old rig. And we did. It's hard to drift down through here. It's not very wide. And that wind is switching back and forth across here from this side to this side. Kind of pushing me at angles. I don't go very far before I got to move. I'm going to go into the bank. I'm kind of headed toward a little point right now. I'm hoping it'll switch before we get there. But I'm going to hang out here probably for another, maybe an hour or so. I'm going to fish with some more of these old reels. I really like them. I bought several of them. You can get them pretty cheap if you look around, especially on eBay. Some of them are a little high. Depends on if if you're getting the real sought after collectibles or not. But this is just, like I said, an old Montgomery Ward's. It's an old one. I think I bought a couple Sears and Western Autos. You name it, old ones. I'm gonna fish with them, see what happens. I kind of like it. It's definitely different than the newer reels that we're used to today, that's for sure. I keep dragging the bottom with this old flimsy rod here, but sure is fun to fish with. Get that fish. I think I got him. All right, the old Montgomery Ward's hooked up again. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Well, he's a little fighter. I just wonder who bought this reel and what they fished for. Could have been bass, crappie, bluegill, catfish, all the above, who knows? They sure were made different back then. I mean, you can just feel the craftsmanship in these old reels. They were built very well. Turn you guys up just a little bit. That's pretty close. He's coming up here. He ain't very big, but we're gonna take him. Little chandler. We'll bait it up and get it back out there. Just a little bit right here. I'm just using shrimp. Seems to be a real good channel cat bait. Just thread it on there and we're ready to go. Now, let's see if we can throw this old reel a little bit. Get it out there just a little ways, then we'll let it go out. I don't have much weight on here, but they don't throw very good. Then we're just going to let it kind of go out. I'll just stick it in the rod holder and let some reel off. I'm gonna fish another 15-20 minutes, then I'm gonna go ahead and get off today. It's a little chilly out here today. It's mid-October. I was hoping it'd warm up, but it hadn't yet. All right, folks, I went ahead and got off the water. I was just getting a little chilly. I haven't been doing real good lately. That's why I haven't really been making too many videos out on the water. This is my first one in a while, and I'm gonna get back into it. It's just gonna be kind of slow, but I'm getting there, getting better. But I wanted to show you this this old vintage setup here. Just to take this reel off these older rods, you just unscrew them right there, and they'll just pop right off. I'm going to take some pictures of this close up so you can kind of see it. Like I said, this is a Montgomery Ward's. I don't know when this was made. It says Montgomery Ward Company, Chicago on the side there. I'll take some pictures of it. If you can read that or not, but it says made in the USA. You can tell the old screws, you know, they're not the Phillips screws, they're the old time screws on this. These are these just really intrigue me. I really like them. I've started a collection of these older reels. I bought several of them, but I just don't want to leave them, you know, in a glass case or on a shelf. I want to use them. I mean, somebody bought this to use at some point. Like I said, I went into this one, everything looked good. I just re-greased it and cleaned it up nice, and it you know, it cranks pretty good for what it is. But I want to show you the rod. This is a Shakespeare. Some of you guys might know what this is. I don't know. That's on it there. It's an old Shakespeare. You can read that. It's made in the USA. Comes apart in 3 different pieces. Just pull it apart there, right there, and then you got to unscrew it right here. And after you loosen this up, this part here just pulls right out. So you've got 3 pieces here. And I bought this off of eBay for, I think I give 18, maybe 17, 18 bucks for the rod. And they ship this for like 12 bucks. I mean, I know if you buy a new rod from somebody today, it's at least 20, if not $25 to ship it, because it's a one-piece rod, most of them, and they have to put them in those tubes, and it does cost more. But this guy, he just packed this all up real nice and bubble wrap and put it in a longer box, but just a little square box that fit in it, just a little one. I really like this old stuff. I just really like this old stuff. Well, I'm going to be doing some what I'm going to call vintage series coming up. Just different older reels, some by Penn, you know, some by Shakespeare, Bronson. There's a ton of different ones out there. But I bought several of them. I just want to fish with them. I want to try them out. Somebody fished with them. Somebody caught some fish at some point with them probably. I want to try to catch some 60, 70, 80 years later. I mean, this reel here, I don't know how old this one actually is, but I bought some that they had some records of that were like in the 30s, and one of them was 1928. I forgot what it was, a Sunny Brooks maybe. It's an old one. I'm gonna fish with it too. It's even littler than this. It's what they call, I think they call it a 60 yard. We're gonna have some fun, but I got to get better. I've been kind of down for a while here. I'm on the way back. I'm gonna start fishing. I'm going into winter right now. I'm not a big winter fisherman, but I am gonna try to get on out there and fish some of those areas that we used to catch some really nice fish in. I'm just a little worried about this older stuff hooking up to something big, but I'm gonna try it. I am gonna try it. Anyway, everybody keep doing what you're doing out there. Keep on fishing, and rods down, people. Rods down. Boom!